How's it going, everyone? I hope you're all doing great. And today I wanted to explain 7 of the different lightsaber types. And surprisingly enough, there's quite a few that you may not have heard of before. Now sit back and relax while we go over this quick guide on 7 different lightsaber types in Star Wars. First, we have the most basic yet one of the most reliable. This is the standard single bladed lightsaber, which was very common throughout the Jedi Order. As we all know, this would usually consist of a metal hilt to safely preserve its internal components. Many pieces would come together to create this elegant weapon, but the most important piece of all would be the kyber crystal inside. Not only did the crystal give your lightsaber the color and energy that went into the blade, but it also shared a stronger relationship with force-sensitive beings. But we'll go more into that another time. The single-bladed lightsaber also consisted of a few other tools. Often it would have a belt ring to hook onto the belt of the owner to keep close in reach, in case it was needed in unexpected combat. There would also be a blade length adjuster, in case you ever needed to change the length of your lightsaber, maybe smaller or longer depending on the occasion. When it came to training Padawans, there would be an option for a non-lethal setting that lowered the power in the blade, so it wouldn't come to harm for anyone in training. Now on to the next lightsaber, the Sith lightsaber. This was very identical to a single-bladed lightsaber, but the construction process was what separated the two. During the process in becoming a Sith, you would need to bleed a kyber crystal. Bleeding is the process where you use the dark side of the Force to manipulate a kyber crystal and bend it to their will. This precipitated the crystal, giving it its dark red hue. Unlike how the Jedi would create a bond with their kyber crystals, the Sith could not, due to the anger, hate, and fear they poured into it, thus creating a Sith lightsaber. Moving on to the next type, we have the double-bladed lightsaber, a very cool and riveting design that takes a great amount of skill and control to properly wield. It is a lightsaber that has a blade emitting from each end, giving the holder more options in combat. Most notably, we see Darth Maul using this specific type, but others known to wield the same design are Exar Kun, who is dated back to be the first to wield it, and we have Jaro Tapal and Savage Opress, just to name a few. There are a great many variety of the double-bladed lightsaber, which include the hinged double-bladed lightsaber, a lightsaber that could fold in half at will for easier storage or giving you the option of 2 single-bladed lightsabers into one. This design was used by Pong Krell during the Clone Wars. Another is the split saber, a double-bladed lightsaber that would allow the user to convert into 2. Asajj Ventress would flaunt this type of lightsaber with her unique S-shaped hilt design. Then we have the double-bladed spinning lightsaber. This was a very popular choice of lightsaber for the Inquisitors, even being given the name the Inquisitor's lightsaber, for a good reason. This was much like the double-bladed lightsaber, but with the added bonus of being able to spin 360 degrees on command. Having that feature would allow Inquisitors to block incoming attacks without wasting any energy at all during battles. A very effective design, but having an extremely exploitable weakness when using its spinning feature. Moving on from the double-bladed lightsaber, we now go into the dual-phase lightsaber. Much like a single blade, only this version would contain 2 kyber crystals, which would allow the length of the blade to be switched in the middle of battle. This technique would momentarily throw off the opponent who faced it, causing them to adjust their fighting style to compete with this new length. This version was considered outdated during the Clone Wars era, but was brought back into the light by none other than Darth Vader. Vader would later go on to use this lightsaber against Obi-Wan and his son, Luke Skywalker. Now this next lightsaber design is very unique, and I think it may be the first of its kind. This was the lightsaber blaster, a particularly unusual design. This hybrid between lightsaber and a blaster would allow the user to fire off short-ranged stun bolts. This was not as effective as a traditional blaster, but was still able to pack quite a punch. Since the design has never been seen before, it had the advantage of throwing off its enemies who were unsuspecting of the blasts. This design was created and used by Ezra Bridger during the reign of the Galactic Empire. Moving back to a more civilized age, we have the curved hilt lightsaber. This type of lightsaber was used during the Clone Wars by the Sith Lord Count Dooku and his apprentice Asajj Ventress. By the way, I just want to add, Dooku was the master with this type of lightsaber. This curved hilt allowed a unique style when dueling, able to lunge and slice at their opponents with great precision. It would throw off its enemies with the uncommon curve, causing it to distract them briefly. Later on, after the Clone Wars had ended, Ahsoka Tano had adopted this curved style for her newly made white lightsabers, but more about that for another time. Picking up with the last lightsaber type we're going to be talking about today is going to be one that is most impressive. It is the one and only Darksaber. This notable lightsaber was one-of-a-kind, single-bladed lightsaber with its exclusive rectangular hilt and black blade color. Now I'm going to read a quote from Star Wars Rebels that briefly dives into the history of the Darksaber, just so you're able to get somewhat of an understanding for it. I didn't know Mandalorians developed a type of lightsaber. We didn't. This was one of a kind. Legend tells that it was created over 1,000 years ago by Tar Vizsla, the first Mandalorian ever indicated into the Jedi Order. After his passing, the Jedi kept the saber in their temple. That was until members of House Vizsla snuck in and liberated it. They used the saber to unify the people and strike down those who would oppose them. At one time, they ruled all of Mandalore wielding this blade. This saber is an important symbol to the house and respected by the other clans." End quote. The saber was passed down generation to generation until it landed with Pre Vizsla, who used it to take over Mandalore. Later on, Darth Maul would challenge Pre Vizsla to a duel, but Maul, being the more skilled opponent, won and took the Darksaber for himself. Eventually, it would again fall into the hands of another, Sabine Wren, who used the saber for a time until giving it away to Bo-Katan, who was thought the rightful leader for commanding the Mandalorian. During the Great Purge, the Darksaber was lost once again, kind of a common theme here as you can see, and is currently in the hands of the Empire, specifically with Moff Gideon. Okay, I hope you all enjoyed talking about 7 of the different lightsaber types. If you have a favorite lightsaber type, or if there was a type I didn't mention, feel free to let me know. If you want to know more about lightsabers and other Star Wars related topics, then you guys should go ahead and subscribe. I'd love to have you a part of the community, and until next time, may the Force be with you.